If you stumbled across this video, I assume you're skinny. I assume you don't fill out a t-shirt. I assume you may feel some sort of inadequacy or lack of confidence stemming from your lack of physical stature. I assume there's females that are that are bigger than you. Okay, now I can laugh, man. I can laugh. Do not get offended by that, because let me tell you, man, I understand it on a very personal level. I was you. Maybe even worse off than you. But here's your problem, man, is you're going around the web watching videos made by other creators and you don't even know their general background. So allow me to illuminate you as to why you should listen to me. Well, why should you listen to me? Here's my resume. I'm a hard gainer, and this was me less than 3 years ago. And this is me now. What adds muscle to an ectomorph's frame is heavy weight for reps. And I wanted to establish that first because honestly, guys, I think you're probably training wrong. It is super common when people first initially discover lifting that they have this favorite influencer, right? That they aspire to be like, kind of sort of mimic. And so maybe they have the physique that you desire. So what you want to do is you want to do what they do, right? What I'm getting at, guys, is programs. Influencers sell programs. You want to look like them, thus you're going to buy their program. Let me give you an example, right? There's a random example, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler, I've seen his program in and out. He's a huge advocate of high volume training. Now, the only problem with copying Jay Cutler's program is you are not Jay Cutler. The only exception to this is body types. And luckily for you, you and I are in the same boat. When I go into a public gym, and I'm literally not embellishing here, 95% of the people in there are pump training. Or in other words, they're chasing the pump. The pump is a temporary increase in muscle size when you lift weights. The key word is temporary. And by no means am I saying pump training isn't effective for building muscle, because that's about half of it, but the other half of it you should be prioritizing strength training. Now, it is not by a landslide, but it has been proven that heavy sets are better in terms of building contractile tissue. That's why when you guys start going down the rabbit hole and you're doing your own research, you're gonna come across various opinions. One person's advocating for one, and then the next person's advocating for the other. And this is stupid. This is stupid because you need both. They both do different things. I feel like if you're not doing both, you're leaving gains on the table. Hence, I champion both. I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm a power builder. I may have the illusion and the appearance of a bodybuilder, but I'm strong. I'm 180 pounds. I bench 310 pounds. Come on!
Dig, Dill!
No way, no way.
Come on! Let's go!
I can rep out 2 plates on incline bench with relative ease. I can do weighted pull-ups with 75 pounds for 5x5. My squat is not that good. Most recently I did a 4x7 with 315, so it's not bad. It's not that good though. But you get the point. Look at some of your favorite influencers. David Lade, strong as hell. Lex Little, strong as hell. James English, stronger than hell. And furthermore, they're all ectomorphs. I'm on the brinks of releasing the program that's predominantly for hard gainers and ectomorphs, people of that nature. I keep you guys updated on that, but for now I'm just going to give you a general outline. You guys are going to run a 6-day push-pull leg split. Monday is a push day, Tuesday is a pull day, Wednesday is legs, Thursday is a push day, Friday is a pull day, and then Finally, Saturday's leg day. On push days, you're doing incline bench and standing barbell OHP. Obviously, you can swap out the incline for flat bench if you prefer, but I highly recommend incline bench just because of the way it develops the chest. And the pump training on push day is going to be, well, better said, the accessories. It's going to be chest, shoulders, and triceps. Pull days, you're deadlifting and doing weighted pull-ups. If you can't do weighted pull-ups, do body weight until you can do weighted pull-ups. And the accessories for pull day are going to be the back and biceps, and I'll just say rear delts. Lastly, on leg days, we're squatting. After you squat, I don't really care what else you do. If you absolutely cannot squat, you can leg press, but it's inferior to squats. Accessories for leg day, you're going to be looking at workouts for the quads, the vastus medialis in particular, that's an important muscle, the hamstrings, the glutes, calves. The first 3 days of the split are the designated heavy days. For all those compound lifts that you do not exceed a 5x5. The rep scheme, do not exceed a 5x5. For example, you could do 4 sets of 5, you could do 3 sets of 4, even 3 sets of 3. The max is a 5x5. Obviously, there's not too much reason to do more sets than that on a compound lift. That's kind of crazy. But reps wise, yeah, don't really exceed 5 reps. Next phase, the last 3 days. I mean, it's just light enough to ensure linear progression. You know, you don't want to be doing 6 heavy days in a row because you're going to plateau. These 3 days are just enough to cool down the CNS, but keep everything in check. You kind of keep that pilot light on so you're still familiar with the movement. For this rep scheme, keep it above a 3x6, so 3 sets of 6, keep it higher than that. I wouldn't drop the reps below 3, and I wouldn't do any less sets than 3. And then a maximum, I'd say like 4x12. You don't need to be, if you're doing a lot of reps, you should not do as many sets because it's a lot. I mean, maybe do 5 sets, I don't know. Your call. But reps, you don't need to be doing more than 12. That's, you're really leaving the strength training at that point. I mean, you technically walk out the strength door at 8 reps. Still in my eyes, I like doing squats, 4 sets of 10, even 4 sets of 12. What we're doing here, guys, is we're using the strength and pump training to build muscle. And we're using that newly acquired strength to gradually move more and more weight. This is progressive overload. I hate to be the one to break it to you, man, but if you have not been incorporating progressive overload in your training this far, you've virtually been wasting your time. I mean, of course, you're gonna see progress because you're new to training, but you've left some gains on the table. So, progressive overload. Please, if anything from this video. Once again, man, back to the gym, the public gyms. I constantly go in there and I see people working out the same way. I mean, not obviously not the same workouts every day, but in the same manner. I don't see them being meticulous in their training because, quite frankly, I don't think they know what progressive overload is. And sadly, they accomplish nothing. Nothing aside from maintaining their current physique, of course. We're in the gym to stimulate the body, to create the stimulus that demands muscle growth. What signals are there? Why is your body going to change if you're doing the same thing every day? That's the definition of insanity, literally, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That is training in a nutshell. That's it. That's all I have for you. And I promise I keep it concise, and I could delve into it for an hour and go on this crazy tangent, but I gotta leave it at that. The next segment of the video is gonna be diet. So I'll catch you guys for that. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow. Alright, so I thought there was no better time to talk about diet and nutrition than during my first real meal of the day. So, as the moment I'm cooking pasta, that may come as a surprise to you guys that I'm not eating something such as eggs or oatmeal for the first meal of the day. The reason for this is volume. Simply put, I have to eat more of the eggs and oatmeal in proportion to how much pasta I'd have to eat to equal the same amount of calories. So essentially, I can eat less food for more calories. Because if you're a skinny guy, right, I think it's fair to say that that indicates you have a naturally low appetite, because I do. That's why there's such thing as a hard gainer. There's other reasons, but that's one of the reasons there's such thing as a hard gainer, is because our bodies are producing less ghrelin than the average person. You guys really have to be, you guys kind of have to devise these cheat codes and be peculiar about what you eat. You have to look for the calorically dense foods. Reason I don't eat eggs is because their structure is predominantly protein and a little bit of fat. So there's not a lot of calories in there.
Dylan can easily squat 4 plates, but he can't lift up 1 plate. That was great.
I'm serious.
It may seem unorthodox to be having pasta for breakfast, but when you're trying to manipulate and change your body, what goes out the window is sort of eating for pleasure, and instead you're going to be eating for sustenance, fuel, energy. Okay, well, let's talk about how to get bigger from a diet standpoint. Have you ever heard the phrase, you gotta eat big to get big? There's some truth in that. I mean, you can't train like a beast and eat like a bird. Athlete X doesn't seem to think so, but I stopped listening to anything that guy had to say when he started claiming natural and lifting fake weights. It's a basic law of thermodynamics that if you consume more calories than you expend, you'll gain weight. A caloric surplus isn't about just eating this immense amount of food and eating anything in sight. For about a year, I was under that impression, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. You don't want to look like that? Well, that can be countered by using precision and calculating your caloric maintenance. I'd recommend just using a calculator, but you can be very thorough, and for about a week straight, weigh yourself like religiously every night and every morning, specifically every morning, and see how your weight fluctuates. But the key is to pick a singular amount of calories that you eat every single day, the exact same amount, and see what that does to your weight. If you lose weight, you need to up your calories to reach your maintenance, and vice versa. If you gain weight, then you need to lower your intake by just a smidge to acquire the maintenance. Ultimately, the goal is to reach a maximum surplus of 500 calories. Any more, and consequently this will end in excessive weight gain. Now let's talk about legitimate diet. Please do not be an idiot, man. Idiot's a little harsh. Do not be a hero, okay? There's always two sides of the spectrum when it comes to bulking and trying to accumulate mass, right? You have the dirty bulkers and you have the health heroes, right? You have people who are trying to run the cleanest, leanest diet, and then you have people who are just eating trash and whatever they want to get bigger. In my personal opinion, doing this for 3 years, I've come to find that the best alternative is somewhere here, somewhere in between. The reason for this is sustainability and quite literally just what works. You know, the most I've ever stayed on track with a clean diet is probably 3 days. I mean, if you're not eating too dirty, you're not going to experience the excessive bloating and like this puffed out look. So I'm going to say half clean foods, half whatever the hell you want. Like literally, if you're getting your protein in, dialed on your caloric intake, like you've accomplished your goal. Like that's enough. You're not going to gain excessive amounts of fat because you're not eating in a hefty surplus, just a very mild surplus. And the bad foods are just considered filler foods, right? You're getting your protein and stuff from these healthy foods like the eggs, fatty red meats, chicken breasts, sparingly because they're super lean and you have to eat a lot. Let's see, fish potentially if you like fish, that for your proteins. And for carbs, I'm a huge fan of complex carbs. I like oatmeal, I like rice, I like the occasional bread. Those are great carbs. All the rest, you guys, all the rest is filler calories. And legitimately speaking right now, all I want you guys to do is when you go to the store and you're looking at the nutrition facts, look at the sugar and look at the protein and make sure obviously it's calorically dense and track this stuff, man. The easiest way to do it is just to put it in your notes in your phone, have a column for calories and have a column for protein, because it takes a couple years, even me now, I'm not fully acquainted with food to the point where I intuitively know what's in it just by looking at it. I can typically do it, like it can be like roughly speaking how many calories are in there, how much protein, but I still track it. I still track it just because I have certain goals for my body. Speaking of protein, make sure you're matching your body weight in grams. So what I'm saying is if you weigh 180 pounds like myself, make sure you're getting in at least 180 grams of protein. I eat about 200. It's perfect for me. A good way to know if you're getting insufficient protein is if you have the protein farts. Don't know what protein farts are? You'll know when you have them. I am like a scale Nazi. That may be unhealthy, but I like to weigh myself. I weigh myself every morning and every night, religiously. Hey, if my weight's fluctuating, if I'm losing weight, I add calories. If I'm gaining weight too fast, then I'll slow down, I'll drop the calories. I'm gonna end this with a little cheat code, okay? So during sleep, your body is undergoing protein synthesis, right? So that's when you're rebuilding and recovering. What I like to do is I like to make sure I have protein in my body, in my digestive system. So what I do is I wake up in the middle of the night and I eat like a protein bar, typically something that has carbs as well. So it's a protein and carb based meal. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one. I'm going to do more informational videos over the course of these next couple months. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys next video. I'll tell you, man. Life don't get much better than this, huh? Move weight, let's go. Fast. Down.
Oh, shit.